Augusta here, Juno, and Jupiter's Day. All hail Juno and Jupiter. Thank you for this huge blessing you bestowed upon me. Let's talk about numbers. I really love this book that was given to me by my sister-in-law. When it comes to numbers and prosperity, there's a definite link. Think about it. Money and numbers, hand in hand. One huge thing I learned when I started paying attention to numbers was where I lived. When I became extremely selective of the street number and the name of the street and the numbers that energy represented, I took huge leaps forward. Back in 2011, it was when I first practiced it. I decided I'm going to be very conscious of my apartment number, the name of the place where I lived, the street I lived on, and boom, huge changes. And I could feel it because I started paying attention. And when you start paying attention, you're going to see the messages. Like, you will see, I will see, like, depending on, it also depends, the spirits will be specific. Like, when I'm feeling extremely anxious, I will see the numbers 333 all day long. I'll look at the clock, it'll be 333 every time. There will be a 333 come up on TV or in my email. I will see that number all the time, and that's the numbers of the Ascended Masters, saying the Ascended Masters are with you. Well, that's the message in this book, and it really resonates with me. Now, when I moved to my husband's old address before we moved here, boom. I mean, I didn't like his address to begin with because it was all numbers. So, that's another weird thing for me. There has to be the both. For my own personal, that's the thing, you have to start paying attention to what? All these little nuances in the spider web. Because for most of us, there's layers and layers that intertwine together and affect each other in our own personal energies and vibes. We're like snowflakes. So everything, maybe for him, for other people, having an address that was all numbers worked. But when I moved in with my husband at our old address, boom, I mean, like I said, I'm in sales. I sell stuff on eBay, I sell stuff on Craigslist, I sell the random painting. A lot to do with sales. So I have to be drawing, any way possible, drawing energy to me. And I know for me, numbers started helping, the sacred geometry. Now that's a whole other complicated, but it's intertwined with your street address, where you live. What is, like for me, when I saw the number of my residence, I knew that was it. Because for me, where I live, the number 11 is my power number for my address. So any number associated with the number 11 where I live will bring prosperity energy to me. Number 6, the number 6, when I put that in my email addresses, that's like boom. boom, things start flowing again. Whenever I have the number 6 with certain, like with my email, my business name, and the number 6 turned out to be associated with love. So that'll be a whole nother subject. But the number 6, the number 11, and then like I said, there's 2 pieces there even, 2 webs. Okay, the number 11 is for my residence. The number 6 is for my symbols and my business. So there's just 2 little, or 3, start paying attention to numbers. I use different names because different names add up to different numbers. When I'm doing tarot, I use a different name. I have my secret name. I have my real name. And I've changed my name in the past. The very first thing I did when I started working with numerology and numbers and that is a very powerful prosperity energy. Huge. I ignored it for a long time because I didn't like math. I was horrible in math. I did horrible in math. But as I started doing things that weren't always comfortable, stretching outside my comfort zone, and using an unfamiliar numerology energy up until 2011, once again 11, I didn't give it much credence until when I changed my name the first time. I felt it then. But it took me a lot of years to get comfortable with that energy. But one, stretching outside of my comfort zone and learning how to transmutate an energy to work for me, which was another huge step towards ascending and more blessings. So find your power numbers. And yeah, maybe you'll win the lotto. Hey, go for it. I mean, $1 in a dream. I mean, I play the lotto. There was a tarot reader in London who had been doing tarot reading for 40 years and finally won the lotto. Good for her. Woohoo! But in general, that's another thing. Trying not to ramble on to all my different subjects. But for most of us, we're still here on planet Earth. We still are in this body. We still have to pay rent and mortgages and food. We're still human. We're still human. And believe me, I'm sure all of us tarot readers, psychic, metaphysical people, if we could just all dream up the winning lotto numbers, we'd all just dream up the winning lotto numbers and go, oh, well, suckers. That's not how it works. Even though it could. There was a lady here that dreamed twice. She won $100,000 2 times at one of these casinos. So, hey, it can happen. But I'm just saying, in general, for most of us, finding your personal power numbers does help hurdle over some bad karma. I'm not really sure blockages. I mean, I have blockages I'm still working on. And that's another thing. Remember, it takes practice, and a whole lot of gratitude. Now, the number 7 and the number 9 are spiritual numbers. I just randomly go with them.